Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by two guys who were running pirate campaigns before the One Piece live action made them trendy.
Oh, see, I don't think that's true. I think my pirate campaign started after the One Piece live action.
I don't think it did. At least you'd written it before.
I wrote it before, but I think it definitely was out before I started playing it.
You've just gone ahead and fucked up my intro.
Well, you should have fact-checked.
No, you should have shut the fuck up.
That being said, the live action is very good.
Well, first things first, my name is John Santana.
I am still Justin, not changed.
Not changed, and yes, you are right. The live action One Piece was fucking phenomenal.
They announced it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh."
I have never seen the anime, never even bothered with it. To be honest, that's been my stance on anime in general. I've not really been too invested. So One Piece, completely off the radar to me. Mm-hmm. So I started watching this, thinking, kind of like Cowboy Bebop, which I really enjoyed.
Yep. Which I've never seen, by the way.
Other people didn't. It was kind of weird. But anyway, Cowboy Bebop, the live action, I enjoyed it. So I thought it was going to be something similar. But then, obviously, a lot of people who have seen the anime are a lot more knowledgeable than me, giving it rave reviews.
Yeah.
Just like, ooh, okay, I'm now even more inclined to watch this. Fuck me, it's amazing.
It is good. It is very good.
We could spend the entire hour
We're not
talking about this.
We could.
Look, Crossing the Nerdverse, they did an entire hour on it, and they are far more knowledgeable than us.
Yeah, so if you want that, go listen to them.
Go listen to them. They do their shit better than us.
They do.
But yeah, you know me, I'm not a nice person.
No, I didn't notice that.
So any sort of character that seems optimistic, I kind of have an aversion against.
Yep.
So for me to actually relate to that character, for me to actually kind of go, holy shit, this is good, that means the writing has to be spectacular.
I just love the way that they've captured the essence of because I did watch a bit of the anime when I was younger. I didn't keep watching it because it's 5 million episodes now and I don't have time to catch up. But I did watch it when I was younger, and watching the live action now, I was like, oh my God, it's the series without all the filler. And they've actually managed to capture the essence of every character from the series and stuff as well, which is really cool.
I have fallen in love with that series.
It's really good.
I cannot wait for a season 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But anyway,
can we not talk about One Piece for the entire hour? Yeah. Fuck this hobby.
Well, I mean, slightly hobby adjacent, right, is the Tabletop Awards have been putting out stuff for the best board games and RPGs. So it's kind of adjacent, right? We'll take an adjacent route into what we're actually here to talk about.
So effectively, you are pushing it in gently.
Yes. And by gently, I mean I'm stomping it in with a boot.
Thank you.
But basically, publishers and designers can nominate their games for consideration for the Tabletop Awards 2023. So yeah, that could be a pretty interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. I think it started last year, didn't it?
Yes.
And they are presented by Misty Mountain Gaming.
Which is an amazing name.
It is. I was literally listening to that song earlier.
It's a good song.
Have you heard the ska version?
No.
Not as in ska, the type of music. Ska as in the Nordic heavy metal band?
No, I've not. Okay, I'll need to give that a listen later.
Yeah, add that to your list. We could spend an hour talking about that song.
We're not gonna.
We're not gonna, but,
We could.
But
yeah, so nominations have opened, and obviously they're going to get, a lot of stuff in. Nominations close in 6 days? 8 days. I can't count. 8 days they close. So not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. And then we get to vote on some of them.
Yes, there is a People's Choice award. I've already put my vote in.
I have not yet.
Yeah, I already have, and probably predictable, but I did have to stick with Pathfinder.
Yeah, I'm shocked, horror. I am shooketh by this revelation.
As much as I've enjoyed many systems this year, Delta Green, Blades in the Dark, Fabula Ultima.
Fabula Ultima was so good.
And they are fantastic systems. I've still always kind of gone back to Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I've always kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've voted for.
Yeah, see, the one I'm interested in is the best board game category, because obviously I do love a board game.
You do indeed.
I do.
Me, meh.
But yeah, so that will be something that we'll keep an eye on, and once they have announced some winners or even some finalists, obviously we will let you guys all know what has made it to the top.
I mean, because like last year there were some things that we've kind of already covered that won, but one of them, Coyote and Crow.
Yeah. A fantastic looking game, and there's some news on that game as well.
Is there?
There is. So on Indigenous Peoples Day, which is a public holiday and whatnot, celebrating Indigenous people of the US, right? Coyote and Crow PDF will be pay what you want.
That is pretty cool.
Now, being that we don't live in the US, I don't know what day that is.
It is the 9th of October.
There we go. So tomorrow.
I nearly said the 10th of September because we do the dates right.
We do dates the right way around, yeah.
We do dates the right way around, but then it just took me a moment to kind of go, oh shit, no, these guys are
America.
These guys are in that country. So, it is the 9th of October. And yeah, they will be making it pay what you want model. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing that system. I'm probably not going to get it this time around.
I probably won't. I've got birthdays coming up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. This time of year, my finances are stretched, to say the least.
Birthdays, Christmas, etc., etc. There is something, though, that might get into your wallet.
I don't know. My wallet's pretty tight lately, man.
Well, there's the haunted heartlands and flooded coasts of post-apocalyptic America is getting... there's going to be two new books, basically, for the post-apocalyptic setting.
Okay. So talk to me about that.
So
sell me on it, Justin.
They're crowdfunding for the books at the moment, so it's not going to cost your wallet anything just yet.
Right. So what do I need a system first?
So it's using backwards by the looks of it. Is the name of the base game, I believe.
Okay.
And it is going to be. I did have it, and then I scrolled and I've lost it. Where is it? There it is. So the design, the oh my god, words! The designers intentionally evoke the bizarre while weaving as much regional folklore, religious traditions, and cultural pockets as possible into the world.
Okay. So
it's out there, but grounded in like actual stories that we've all heard and know and love. So the two new books. They're going to leave previous hub worlds, New Orleans and St. Louis, behind. And they're going into completely different geographical zones.
Right.
Those zones are Florida, Georgia and Alabama coastlines. So basically up the coast there.
Yeah.
And the So that's going to have things like some swashbuckling. We did mention pirates. This is turning into quite a piratey episode, accidentally, and I love it. So fishers, sailors, basically hunting monsters up and down the Gulf, right?
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And the other one was it's just like like those little towns and stuff that just are all over America, like the one that you kind of had in your campaign.
Okay,
just those little idyllic towns, but shit's going down.
Yeah,
that setting. So an actual setting for that kind of game.
Well, I'm having a look at the original Kickstarter now.
Mm-hmm.
Backwards regional American Gothic horror. Step into a bizarre post-apocalyptic America with 2 new regional settings for the backwards. It's the actual. They've just updated the Kickstarter, I do believe.
Yeah.
Right. That's not what I wanted to look at.
Uses its own D20 system, and 4 core attributes: intuition, build, vigilance, and reflex.
No, Backwards Tabletop is the creator of Backwater Southern Gothic horror game.
So there's no set DCs for things. It's contested rolls. So if you're trying to do something, you roll against the GM. So you'll set a goal score, and then the GM will try and beat your score, or vice versa. If you're trying to do something against an NPC, the GM rolls to set a goal score, and then you roll to beat that goal score.
I'm not entirely sure if I like that.
I do and I don't.
I think it just adds more work for the GM.
It does. But at the same time, it's less to remember in a way, because you don't have to remember what's the DC for a medium thing. Is this a medium thing? You don't have to make those decisions. You just roll. And then you can, like, because the issue I've always had with like fixed DCs is if like, I don't know. There's just I've always had issues with fixed DCs because I feel like people stick too rigidly to them. If there's like a number printed, when if it's something like, let's say there's like a lock on a chest, right? And the barbarian who's got like 20 strength, he should be able to break that easily. So it's just things like that. I think that there should be. I mean, there's going to be problems whichever way you do it, let's be honest.
I mean, you don't like fixed DCs because you roll like shit.
Yeah, but then I would also hate contested DCs because I roll like shit.
Yeah, but then you need to find a GM who rolls as shit as you.
There is nobody that rolls as shit as me.
It'd be like the most boring fucking game ever.
Nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening.
We've been rolling dice for 8 hours. What are you trying to do? Get out of bed.
It's a perception check. Why?
I can't find my alarm clock.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I like the contested aspect of it.
Okay. I thought I was going to get into your wallet for sure there.
No, don't get me wrong, it does seem interesting. I think if the setting were a bit more relatable to me, then I'd be a lot more interested. But, it's the gothic horror element of the United States, it doesn't resonate as much as like
I get that.
Your generic eldritch horror, which is,
Yeah, I think it's always the risk you take when you set it in like a real location, right? Is for the people that live around there, it's going to be really cool. But for anybody who doesn't, it kind of alienates them a bit.
I mean, to be honest, I do struggle a bit with that with Delta Green. Because that is set primarily in America.
Yeah.
There are offshoots that are set here in the UK, and it is doable, but because of all the printed media is surrounding Delta Green in America, it's easier for me to just kind of go with it. And no, I do not do an American accent.
It's true, he does not. I can confirm.
I maybe every now and again I'll start one and then just kind of go, I sound fucking stupid. And I don't mind doing accents, but I'm in a position that people are kind of staring at me, for want of another word, or when I'm the center of attention, I just kind of lose my bottle and nothing comes out right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's the minute you go on the spot, it puts unnecessary pressure onto the accent to be good. Yeah. So I don't know. I tend not to bother. I really like doing accents, but the minute I'm in any kind of campaign environment or with other people, I'm just saying, yeah, no, my voice is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably add the odd inflection to my voice or speak a bit more gravelly, but I don't start doing accents. Whereas, kind of off the cuff, I will, and it'll be great. But if I'm running a game or anything like that, it's just I can't be fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, you did try.
An effort was made,
but my wallet is currently remaining tightly shut.
I've got something here. It's a slam dunk. It uses a version of the cipher system.
Yeah, I think I know which one this is, and it's not whether I'm interested in it or not. It's whether I can afford it.
Well, so. The surreal fantasy RPG Invisible Sun and its 14-kilogram black cube is returning for a limited print run. Is that what you thought I was going to bring up?
Exactly what I thought you were going to bring up.
Cool. So yeah, first released back in 2018 on Kickstarter. They have basically announced that they are going to do another limited run. They're going to crowdfund a small number of physical copies later this month.
I'm looking. I'm interested.
That is all of the information they've given right now. Apart from a sign up for, you can sign up to be notified when the crowdfunding thing goes live, basically on their on the Back of Kit website.
I mean, I think I've seen. Where did I see this? They've made comparisons to some of Neil Gaiman's work. Like Sandman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That it is batshit insane. Just absolutely all over the place.
So the contents of the Black Cube will be reprinted. So what came in the original Black Cube is going to be reprinted. So included... Wow, I really can't speak today. It's because we're a day early. That's what it's thrown me off. So the Black Cube will include 4 books, 1,000 cards, character sheets, a tarot-esque soothe deck, dice, a Testament of Suns plinth, which looks a bit like a hand, maps, handouts, and a separate art book. Which, to be honest, that is a lot. That is a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. It does give me a board gamey kind of vibe, though.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, there are a lot of board gamey elements to it. It does look like a board game, so maybe this is one that I'll probably pick up. But it's Cypher system, dude.
Oh, the Cypher.
You love a Cypher system.
And I tell you what, when I get you to play the Cypher system,
I'm probably going to fall in love with it, yeah.
100%. It's so fucking elegant. And at the same time, it's mechanical and you've got the crunch to it as well. So it's not a pick either. It's like, oh, I want a mechanical aspect. I want a role play. It's like, it is a really good balance. Yeah, you'll like the Cypher system when I run it for you.
No, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, just reading up a bit more on what people have said about this game since it came out. Because obviously it originally released back in 2018, right? So it's been around for a while, but the limited number of copies mean that a lot of people are in the same boat of us of, I really want it, but I can't get it. So it has been kind of, people have said that it's like a singular roleplay experience. So it is very board gamey. So you set up, you play it, and then pack it up, go home.
Yeah, I'm interested. There is a digital version as well.
Yes, although if I'm getting it, I want all the stuff, man. You know me. I am a slut for stuff.
Yeah,
if I've got the
100.
option of physical stuff, man, I want it.
I get it 100%, but I would be interested in trying the digital version first to see if I'm even going to like this.
Yeah, fair.
Because because the original price was $197.
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot afford that.
Well, there are currently 2,078 other people waiting for the Backer Kit campaign to launch. And once I've typed in my email address, it will be 2,079. I am not a robot. Last I checked. There you go. It is now 2,079 people waiting for the announcement.
See, I am not typing in my email address.
There's no point. I've already done it.
The only reason I'm not typing it in is because I've already got it preloaded, so I just hit select and capture evaded. So, yep, I was successful in identifying which of the squares were motorbikes.
Well done. Congratulations.
I did really well. No, invisible. So yeah, I will be notified. I don't know. I'm going to struggle to justify $200.
I mean, yeah, it's going to depend, really. Because if it comes out at the same sort of price, then, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to justify either. If it isn't the same price, then I will see what I can do.
And if Backer Kit say, well, because you backed it to $150, you see, that is negotiable.
Yeah.
So $150 doesn't sound too bad.
Mm.
$200 sounds terrible.
It does.
Mm.
It's a big difference.
There's a big difference. Yeah, it's almost 40 difference. 50 difference.
It is 50 different.
It's 50. My maths just went.
That was terrible. It was bad as my speaking. We are falling apart today.
We will fail primary school at this rate.
We would fail art class at this rate.
And nobody fails art class.
Well, no, do you know who did fail art class?
Who?
Wizards of the Coast with their last book. But they fixed it.
Sorry. Nice.
Right? That was good, right? I set that up and everything. There was a trajectory on that one. But yeah, so obviously there was a big story. We covered it a little while ago about one of their newest books. Is Bigsby's Giant something or the other. Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. That was it. I can never remember the full title of the books. I always just go with the first word. So like it's Xanathar's Bigby. Like I never go with the full title because I'm lazy. But obviously in that book, there was a big story. We covered it. They used AI art unbeknownst to them because the artist didn't tell them whatever the story, So
the story was that the artist that they had hired,
used
who
AI
had
art.
done a lot of work for Wizards of the Coast over the years, used AI to enhance his art.
Yeah, basically to add the little flourishes that he just couldn't be bothered to do by hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially, once people found out that, he had done AI, augments on his artwork, the internet lost its mind, as the internet tends to do. So Wizards put out their big statement saying, look, we didn't know, we're not going to do it anymore, there will never be AI art in our work, blah, blah, blah. And now what they've also done is they have removed all of the art that artist worked on from the book, and they've replaced it with new art by other people and credited those people instead.
So, but wasn't this Giants book already released?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be obviously in newer editions and in the PDF.
Yep.
versions.
So that means that does mean though that there are going to be versions of the book with artwork that does not exist anymore.
Might be worth something.
Yeah.
Well,
not right now. At some point, it will be probably worth something because it will be like a first edition, right, with a misprint in air quotes. However, Wizards are not the only one under fire for AI art anymore. So,
ooh, are they not?
No. So, Linda Kodega, the Gizmodo reporter.
Love that person.
Mm-hmm.
Love that person.
Yep. So they are the one who initially broke the story about the AI art to the wider internet. it has since come to light that a different, I think it was one of the cons. The largest tabletop gaming convention in Europe, Essenspiel.
Essenspiel, yes, that's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yep, ran into the same controversy as promotional material for the convention used AI art, including the convention's official app, promotional posters, and tickets for the fucking event. So they saw all of this happening with Wizards and went, yeah, it's fine.
Essenspiel. Das ist no good, ja.
Das ist no good.
Das ist no good. Das ist not good.
It's very bad.
You're naughty, naughty boy.
Naughty Essenspiel. So yeah, so basically they have run into the same thing once people found out. The internet have quite rightfully at least kept it consistent, at least, with the outrage, which I'm glad about, because let's be honest, quite often the internet will get outraged and then the same thing will happen and the internet will go, we've moved on.
I'm just reading the quote from...
Yep. I was about to go through it.
Do you want to read it? Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Getting my PR voice on.
Okay, PRON. Sell me. You need to sell me on this.
I can't. I'm not even sold on it. We are aware of this topic and will evaluate it in detail after the show. Right now, please understand that we cannot answer your questions at this moment, as we have a lot to do to get the show started today. So basically, what they've said there is, tough shit.
To be honest, I mean, regardless of the subject matter, regardless of your position on AI generated art, I think that response is as bold as fucking brass.
I mean, that is literally as they were going, yeah, we don't care.
to just kind of go, oh yeah, well, we'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that after we've taken your money.
Yep.
You know, next year we won't have to worry about it. But right now, yeah, we've got a lot of shit going on.
Yep.
Regarding the questions about meeps and timing, I can tell you quickly that the marketing campaign has been created way before we had the idea to create a mascot. The idea of meeps had nothing to do with the marketing campaign and vice versa.
I'm calling bullshit.
Meeps, a board game playing kitten and totally innocent of the controversy, because who could blame a cute kitty? Okay, nice little addition there from the author of this article.
Yep.
Is the new mascot for the convention announced this past July.
See, now the issue I have with what they've said in the statement, right, is that the marketing campaign containing the AR artwork was created before the idea to create a mascot. Now, if they've been using AI artwork in the past, and they haven't categorically said we're not going to use it in the future or we regret using it or whatever, they just said we're aware of it. Whatever, right? I'm inclined to think that they've probably used it for the mascot as well. Because they haven't said that they haven't.
But I would have thought that since this article broke, everybody, fucking sit-at-home sleuths, and they will have been going over every piece of fucking artwork. And somebody somewhere, had it been AI, would have gone, I recognise that.
Yeah, but this only broke 2 days ago.
Oh, it's the internet, dude. These things happen way fast.
Yeah, but we just might not have seen it. We're not really in the art scope, are we?
No, I think from a business perspective, if they had anything regarding the mascot that was dubious, they would have copped to it, because if not, it would have been a lot worse further down the line. Business perspective, it's probably okay, fair enough, we'll take our lumps with this, but at least our new mascot isn't AI generated, and I do kind of believe them on that.
But they haven't categorically said that. They just said that the creating of the mascot and the marketing campaign weren't linked. They didn't say categorically that the mascot was not AI.
Well, they kind of have in a roundabout way. Regarding the question about meeps and timing, I can tell you quickly that the marketing campaign has been created way before. So basically, they're saying, essentially, that's what they're claiming. They're just, yeah, I think they're actually correct about that. I don't see a reason to lie. But very naughty.
It is. It's very naughty of them. Very, very naughty indeed. But now we're going to get into some stuff that you're not going to give a flying monkeys about, but I do. We're going to talk... Oh, there's somebody with a motorbike going past my window. Lovely. We're going to get into some D&D stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm really not, but...
So we'll start with something that I personally don't see as a big issue, but for some reason is news to other people. And the reason I say I don't see it as a big issue is because Wizards announced this back in like early September, and the other company has just put out a statement now, and everyone's going, "Oh my god, what has happened?" This like it was announced in September, dude. Like, what are you talking about? So basically, Penguin Random House is no longer going to be distributing D&D products. That's it. That's the extent of the story. This was, for some reason, a huge article where basically Wizards announced back in the beginning of September that they are going to be moving to using the distributing powerhouse that is Hasbro, the company that now owns them, because it makes sense to. Like, you've got a huge distribution company. Why would you pay somebody else to distribute your stuff, right?
No, I mean, I get it. I saw this come up, and as soon as I saw the headline, it's like, oh, what have these fucking idiots done now? And I've looked at it, and it's just like, well, that's a business.
It's a non-story.
It's a business decision. It's
It's like it's not like it's come out of left field for this company either, right? Like, Wizards announced it back in the beginning of September, right? So it's been a month since Wizards announced it. And they basically said way back in September that as of just the end of this year, so December 31st, so basically January 1st, 2024, any distribution is going to come from Hasbro and not from Penguin Random House, right? And then a month later, Penguin Random House has gone, "Oh my god, guys," and told basically the people they distribute to, "We're not going to send you stuff anymore." And the internet has apparently lost its fucking mind again.
Well, in other news, I am no longer going to be getting my burgers from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm going to be getting them from Burger King.
Yeah.
So,
because,
no reason, just
because, yeah.
It's a preference. Like, McDonald's haven't done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's not go down that.
They probably have. Let's be honest, and so have Burger. But anyway, they haven't done anything wrong to me personally. But I'm just changing my provider, as it were.
I mean, it would essentially be, right, if, let's say you always went to Mackie D's, right, but then a Burger King opened across the fucking road, you're obviously going to go to the Burger King across the fucking road because it's easier, it's more convenient. Like, it's a non-story. I don't even know why it ended up becoming a story. It's just the internet once again losing its mind. It
sounds to me like it's bandwagon jumping.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds to me like this Penguin Random House. No, have they got anything to do with like the Penguin publishers, like from the old storybooks I grew up with here in the UK?
I don't think so.
We need to Google this company.
I am already on it, Batman. Penguin Random House is... No, they're not. Different logos and whatnot.
Publishing great books, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Doesn't have, like... Because you're talking about, like, Penguin Publishing, right?
I'm looking like Penguin Books UK.
Yeah, it seems to be a different company. I don't think there's any affiliation apart from they both have Penguin
actually,
in the name.
there is an affiliation.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so if you go to penguin.co.uk, at the foot of the website, I'm just seeing it on the Google link now, but if you go, surely...
I'm at the foot of their website. Oh, yeah, a Penguin Random House company. They
Boom. Are. Okay.
So it does have something to do with them.
It does have something to do with them. Okay, I'm glad we solved that mystery. It's meant nothing to the story, but...
Absolutely nothing, but we've all learned something.
We have learned something. So Penguin Books is part of Penguin Random House.
So there you go. The books that you used to know and love as a child were distributed by the same... we're distributing D&D books all along.
Those bastards. I read those books. And
you read them in good faith.
They were facilitating subpar role-playing games to a army of simps.
Hey.
Yeah, shut up, you simp.
We prefer the term weirdos.
No, you're just you're simps in an abusive relationship.
It's not abusive.
No, they'll never do it again. Right.
I never said that.
But yeah, so...
It's only abusive if you're not asking for it. We're asking for it.
But that is fair. You get what you deserve. So yeah, it just seems to me like it's a bit of a
it's like they're owned by a distribution company. Why would they pay somebody else to do it for them?
Yeah, to me, I read it and I was kind of... Do you know when you're just waiting for the other, like... Yeah. Like the other shoe?
Yeah, and there just wasn't one.
I was reading it kind of going, okay, so yeah, they've stopped, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, blah, 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 end of year. I'm just waiting for him to say, yeah, because the Wizards of the Coast employees pissed on our cats or something that. And there was nothing. It was like, why am I reading this fucking waste of time?
This is the best bit, though. They're not even stopping all distribution through Penguin Random House. So Penguin Random House are still going to be distributing some of the D&D licensed titles, like Lore and Legends and the new Heroes Feast book that's coming out. They're still going to publish those. It's just the actual like gameplay books that they're not going to publish. Or not distribute, even not publish.
So do you think Dicebreaker had like a really slow news day?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or they were like, we haven't said anything bad about Wizards for a while. Let's put something out. We've got nothing. That'll do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week, a thing happened.
Was it a good thing? No. Was it a bad thing? No.
Not really.
So what was it?
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
A thing happened.
Said the thing inventor, thinking it should invent a thing inventor.
I want that title. I want that job title.
What, thing inventor?
Yeah, I want to be the thing inventor for any fucking company.
You're our thing inventor.
I am your thing inventor.
You are. You invent many things for me.
So because I said about getting jobs and there is a job at Gen Con LLC going.
I did see that.
There was also another job going as well, which I very, very nearly put my fucking CV in for.
Oh, really?
Evil Genius Games.
Oh.
Need a coordinator.
Oh.
And it's like, I can do that.
So I could do that.
It's a non-creative admin position. I can do that.
You could do that. You are very good at non-creative admin.
So it was like, do I want to? But to be honest, I've got a very fucking stable job.
Yeah.
And one that's reasonably well paid, so I'm not going to rock that particular boat, but I would love to work in the industry.
It would be a lot of fun, I think. But yeah, I mean, as you say, like I'm in a really solid place now as well, so I wouldn't want to risk it on diving into something new unless I absolutely had to.
And you know the other problem with me working for Evil Genius?
What's that?
I would probably have to sign an NDA so we could not track the story about Evil Genius. So
that's true.
So
yeah.
So that's why I didn't take it. My journalistic integrity.
Bullshit. But speaking of new things,
yes,
that was terrible. I feel bad.
No, I
feel dirty after that one.
After that really, really quality one that you did earlier.
I dropped the ball there.
You fucked up.
I did. I fucked up so bad that you could feel the fuck up across all of the planes of existence. We're going to talk about Planescape.
And you made it worse.
Yep.
Just double down on that fuck up.
Yeah, man.
You like wizards? You like Wizards of the Coast?
That's what we do here. We double down. So basically, Jeremy Crawford has said.
Yeah. Sorry.
Has said that Planescape, the new book that's coming out for D&D, we've covered it a couple of times on the show as well, is his favorite D&D setting. It is D&D, he says, as he talks about the new book, which is going to be compatible with the new core rulebook updates in 2024. That's it. That's the entirety of the story.
So the person who sells D&D for a living has come out to say...
Said, hey, this book's really good.
This is like the best book ever, sort of thing. Oh, God, I'm so in love. Look how stuck together the pages are.
Yeah, there are no pages because it's not out yet. But yes, that's what he said.
He'll have a copy. He will have a copy.
He'll have a physical copy, yeah.
Which is now crusty. According to him.
Oh.
According to his own admission.
Yep.
So, the person responsible for selling it has come out and kind of gone, this is a really good book.
He's not responsible for selling it. He's responsible for making sure that the rules of the game make sense, which I would argue he doesn't do a very good job of. Because there are so many fucking rules arguments that happen online about the rules as written. So much so that literally the amount of times that people will tweet him, but like, hey, does this work the way I'm reading it? And he has to reply with yes or no. And then people will bring that to the argument in the forums is quite funny.
I mean, to be honest, most systems do have some element of that. But
of course they do, yeah.
I have not seen it as sort of prevalent as much as it is in D&D.
I think part of the reason you see it more with D&D is because there's just on a percentage basis, more people play D&D, right? So just percentage-wise, there's more people to have those arguments, so you're going to see more of them, if that makes sense.
And let's be honest, they are kind of lacking. The rules, when they came out, the rules weren't entirely finished, so they did this whole, oh yeah, but the GM can, it's GM discretion. And don't get me wrong, fantastic fucking selling point, and it's worked. Regardless of why it came about. So you start with a sort of wonky foundation and build on top of that. Everything is going to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
Yeah, the rules need updating, which is exactly what is currently happening now.
Yeah.
So, Pathfinder First Edition had a very similar problem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, yes.
Everything was added.
So
it was
broken.
So this is added. But you say that like you're not the person who goes, I like to break RPGs and all that.
I'm not disputing that at all. It was very easy to do. And I think part of the problem that I had with Pathfinder is obviously the group that we used to play with. It got to a point where you almost had to break your character to be relevant.
But to be honest, that is Pathfinder First Edition.
It is. It really is, yeah. And I think that's why I kind of fell out of love with Pathfinder, was because of that. Whereas even if you like royally break a character, in air quotes, in like 5e, it's still not like game breaking. Unless you do like a coffee lock, but no DM is going to allow a coffee lock at their table. Because coffee locks can generate infinite spell slots.
But the system shouldn't even allow for that.
Technically, it doesn't. You have to do some fuckery to do it. It's possible rules as written, but realistically, it's not. If that makes sense.
No, but like D&D doesn't make fucking sense.
But anyway, speaking of the new rules, there is a bonus Unearthed Arcana document, playtest document, that came out on Thursday. So just the other day, it's got some updates for some cantrips that they want to try out.
Sorry, can I just thank you for the explanation of how the days of the week work?
Yeah.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Thursday was just the other day.
It was just the other day. Yeah, it was.
Please continue.
Well, was it not just the other day?
It was. You
well,
are
there you
correct.
Go. Fuck off. But basically, yeah, so they've released this bonus document, and it's got some changes to cantrips, which are pretty cool. Nothing really game-breaking on the cantrip front. It's just things like they've tweaked some damage dice on some spells, or slightly tweaked the wording on one or two, things like that, to make some of the cantrips not as ridiculously fucking stupid as they used to be. Or the ones that were pointless, they've buffed them a little bit so that they are a bit more viable. So yeah, just some nice cantrip changes. But the big, like, newsworthy story for this particular document is the introduction of a bastion system.
Okay, and what is the bastion system? So,
a bastion is a location that belongs to a player character. So, like, their home or a stronghold or anything that they've, like... so, it might be like a tavern that the group has collectively bought or inherited or, you know, got their hands on through some dodginess, right? But basically, it's like a home base for them. So when they're not on an adventure or something, they've got somewhere that they can go and kind of rest without having to worry about stuff, which is quite nice. But it also has a lot of like actual gameplay mechanics as well, which is pretty cool. So gaining a bastion is a possibility once they reach level 5, because it wouldn't make sense for them to own something before then, apparently. That's the only bit that I'm looking at. Well, there's two bits that I'm looking at it with, like, really? That's one of them, because I don't know why the arbitrary level 5 cap for having one of these things. Especially considering, like, they list a home. So you have to be a level 5 adventurer to have a home.
So there's like, I think there's rampant homelessness all across Faerun.
That's why I think the inclusion of like a home as what a bastion could be is what makes me question level 5. I think if it was like they've got a stronghold or, you know, a tavern or something like that, I can understand the level 5 requirement, because they would have had to warrant being strong enough to have a stronghold, right? But like a home, really? The fucking barmaid at the tavern has a home, I'm sure. Right?
No, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's only level 4. Maybe she's like, all I need to do is another 17,000 pints of Guinness, and I will have enough XP to get my first home.
I just need to slap one motherfucker across the bar. But essentially, they give a bunch of extra mechanics to the game. So they're going to be introducing something called a bastion turn. So as time passes, so it's in the book, it's every 7 days, but they do categorically say that the DM can alter the frequency based on, you know, whatever's happening in the world or whatever to when they do it, right? But essentially during the bastion turn, the players will issue orders to the special facilities of their bastion, and there's a whole like chapter on what those special facilities are. I'm not going to go in depth into all of them. But it's things like they can have, let me get one of them. So special facilities are things like crafting or empowering or harvesting, right? So they can, the hirelings at their bastion can start crafting some armor or stuff like that, right? So you can basically order the people that are living in your bastion to do some stuff. Or you can do a maintain order, which is where they will do some maintenance work and make sure the bastion's up to scratch. But those special facilities that you can issue orders through will generate bastion points. And you can spend bastion points on a level up to purchase a magical item, or so essentially you would be issuing your special facilities to be, you know, researching and crafting this magical item with the GM approval, obviously. You're not just going to pull out some magical item and just be like, hey, look what I got. Like, no. The DM can still say no, which, again, they've written into the rules, so you can't have a player going, well, the book says... Well, no, the book also says I can tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, but even if the book doesn't say that,
absolutely. The overarching rule of any D&D book is the DM has the final say, right? It's literally printed in the front of the DMG.
I don't need a fucking book to tell me that.
No, but it's for those people that say, well, the book says that. Yeah, well, this book also says fuck off. But basically, so you can get a common magic item for 20 bastion points. an uncommon for 70, a rare for 250, but you also have to have there's a level prerequisite for rare and above. So you have to be level 9 and 250 Bastion points for a rare magical item. Very rare is level 13 and 350 Bastion points. And for a legendary item, you've got to be level 17 and 700 Bastion points. And you can basically get your hands on a magical item that way, which is quite cool.
It is cool, but I do think there needs to be, like, on the GM side of the screen, there needs to be a balancing.
There is.
Mechanic. Like in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, there is a wealth by level.
Mm-hmm.
So if a character comes into contact with something very powerful, you just kind of discreetly knock it off the wealth by level, just so that the party as a whole doesn't get too overpowered. Yeah,
so there is mechanics for that in this as well. But there is also things that you can construct into your Bastion. So as the Bastion levels up, because that is part of it as well, you can level up your Bastion. So it's a bit like any of those base building like video games where you level up your home base, right? And you can add in facilities and features. So you can build things like a workshop or a war room or like a guild hall. And then you can have like a thieves guild in there or things like that. But then there is also like rules in here for your Bastion being attacked. There's a whole list of Bastion events. So basically you roll a d20. On a 1 to 9, nothing significant happens. On a 10, you get attacked. 11 to 12, a bunch of your hirelings go missing. 13 to 14, some refugees show up at the gate. Then you've got things like friendly visitors, an honored guest. One of your hirelings turns out to be a criminal. And on nat 20, you get a magical discovery. And just then there's rules for obviously all of those things. So there is actually like a whole bunch of stuff in there. So the criminal hireling is one that was pretty cool. So one of your Bastion's hirelings has a criminal past that comes to light when officials or bounty hunters visit your Bastion with a warrant for that person's arrest. You can retain the hireling by paying a bribe of 1d6 times 100 gold pieces. Otherwise, the hireling is arrested and taken away, and you need hirelings to be able to do stuff in your Bastion. So losing one is not good.
I don't know. I do believe that would have to be... Obviously, it's only for select campaigns.
Yeah, well, that is... The opening thing for it is the DM decides whether this is even a thing in their campaign.
Well, I'm only saying that because every campaign I've had, there hasn't been a home base.
Yeah.
It's been a case of, this is what's happening. For some reason or other, you need to get the fuck out of town.
Yeah,
and you need to travel the world, because I do like to move around, sort of thing.
Yeah.
In fact, the homebrew that I'm coming up with is the first time where it's going to be based in a single city.
Well, there you go. Bastion will work for that.
Yeah, but I'm using Cypher System. I know.
So that is one of the things that they say in like the first paragraph is it's up to the DM to decide whether Bastions are available in the campaign. Bastions are best suited to campaigns that allow characters to return to their Bastions during intervals when they're not actively adventuring. So you basically can also command your Bastion while you're out adventuring, so you don't have to like put the adventuring on hold to sit and do stuff at your Bastion, because you can send those orders back for them to do stuff. But it goes a lot smoother when you're there, basically.
Well, I'm kind of going to be running a campaign which has a similar mechanic to it when I start Kingmaker. Because Kingmaker, you actually build a kingdom. And you have to manage the kingdom and all that. Don't get me wrong, right now I've got zero fucking clue on how that is meant to work. Not that far read into it yet, but I'll get there. But they will, so there is a place for it.
Yeah. They've also got some rules around like the fall of a Bastion. So basically, if you ignore it for too long, somebody else will basically like ransack it and take it over, and you lose it. And stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
With me as a GM, that'd be a day They've gone up. We just popped out to the shop. Oh, these things happen.
Well, somebody came in, man. What can I say?
It's been ransacked.
You didn't lock the door, man.
But we did. We found it open. Snooze, you lose.
It was definitely open after I picked that lock. That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing like being the GM that likes to take shit away.
But yeah, so that was I'm looking forward to that because I think it could also work as like a way of managing for like my pirate campaign, right?
I was just about to say that.
The Bastion could work really well as their ship because it gives you a way to kind of manage the ship without having to like fudge your own way of doing that or anything like that, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to be using those rules for the management of the ship.
No, yeah, it does work. All right, so should we take a nice leisurely stroll over to the couch?
I think we should.
Okay. So I've got a few questions this week.
So do I. I received 3 questions, although I'm going to combine 2 of them because they're based on the same sort of path, but we'll do those ones second for me because the locations for those follow on from the first question.
Okay, so I've got 3 as well.
Okay.
So you're essentially gonna do 2, yeah?
2, yeah.
So if I go,
combine 2 of them.
I go, you go, I go, you go, I go. That'll be it.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read these in order of when I received them.
Yep.
So the first question is from Corvus, who is in the queue behind Edgar. I might be here for a while.
Yeah. Well, Edgar's got a lot of forms.
So yeah, just in case people weren't paying attention to our show last week, Edgar is my Fabula Ultima character. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. And he's got a thing for making sure that the forms are filled out and that permits are obtained for things.
Things have to be right.
Yes.
If they're not right, they're wrong.
It's got to be well documented.
Exactly. So the question is, when running a campaign, do you have a hard limit on the number of players you allow, or do you adjust for yourself the limit on the number of players based on several factors?
I would say the second one.
Okay. What would those factors kind of be?
So if, for example, if they're newer players, I'll tend to have a smaller group because there's going to be a lot more double checking and sort of not micromanagement. That's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like going over things with them and making sure that they've understood that rule or this rule or that mechanic and stuff like that. So with a smaller group, it means that you're not going to spend 8 hours on like one round of combat because everyone's asking questions. And also in a smaller group, people are more likely to double check things rather than in a bigger group because they're going to like, I guess it's just a bit of human nature, right? You don't want to piss people off. It's just most people, not you, John. I know you don't give a shit. But most people don't want to piss other people off. So they tend not to ask questions in a bigger group because they don't want to upset those people and make it feel like they're taking a long time to understand things. Having a smaller group in that situation, I find, is better.
It's not that I don't give a shit. It's that I actively enjoy pissing people off.
That too.
Yeah, not giving a shit. No, I actively enjoy it. If something's pissing someone off,
it's going out of his way.
That's it. I will bend over backwards.
But yeah, so I was, and then obviously if it's like a group of really experienced players, then I tend to widen the net a bit more because I'm not going to have to micromanage as much.
For me, I don't have necessarily a hard limit, or should I say I've not hit my hard limit yet. I think the most I've played, I've run for is 8. But my approach changes drastically. Yeah. Because it goes from with 4 players where I can kind of be a lot more sort of relaxed and a lot less demanding. Where I can kind of go, right, just take your time, think about what you want to do. When I get to like the 7-8 player mark, it's like I need a decision, and I need it now.
Yeah, you want to kind of just
30, and you've got 30 seconds to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you do not know the rules well enough, tell me what you want to do, and I will translate it to rules for you. Yeah. Once you get past the 6-player mark, it's like, right, you need to start moving.
It's going to be rapid. Otherwise, you spend like 8 years on one round of combat.
If not, you're going to lose your turn. And I've got no qualms in kind of going, too late, next person.
Yeah.
Your character has spent the 6 seconds, like in the case
frozen in fear.
Not frozen in fear, but just in indecisiveness.
Yeah.
You know, and I say 6 seconds because that is what D&D and Pathfinder kind of hold
it's
their
the
rounds
basis
to.
for a round.
Master is 10 seconds, you know. So I basically just kind of go, what you doing? You don't know. We're moving on. And obviously not as draconic as that, but
I will say one thing though.
The hard time limit is something I adhere to with a larger table number.
I would also say as well, like, players, make your DM's life easier. Decide what you're doing before it's your turn in combat. The amount of times that I've sat at tables and it's like you're going around the table like in the initiative order, and then you get to like a spellcaster and you're like, oh, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I don't know, what spell should I cast? Like, dude, you've had 20 minutes since your last round. Like, how have you not decided what you're going to do next?
That's why I struggle with playing. Because, you know, as a GM, you are constantly thinking, what am I going to do next? What's going to happen? What are they doing? Etc.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like as a player, though.
But when you get to play, at least when I get to play, it'll be like, okay, I'll take my turn, and the moment that turn's over, I immediately know what I'm going to do next. So that means I'm going to sit back and wait for everybody.
What I tend to do is I will... So I'll have a rough idea of what I want to do. Like, I'll be like 90% sure this is what I do, unless something happens that changes that. So I'll have like a 90% idea of like, I mean, it does help that I mainly play martial characters, right? So my options are bonk them with the sword, bonk them with the axe, punch them in the face. Those are pretty much my choices, right?
Every week it's bonking.
Yeah, it's because it's the best way to deal with bad guys. You bonk them in the face.
Oh. Okay.
You heard it here first.
That is, there's a lot to unpack there, Justin.
Yep. And we're just going to move on. It's very quick for me to decide like what I'm going to do next round because I play martial characters. But even when I have played a spellcaster or two, I'll still have a rough idea of what spell I'm going to do or who I'm going to buff or heal or whatever in the next round, right? And the only reason that'll change is if something on the battlefield changes to make that no longer a valid tactic. But even then, I've already that 10% of, well, it's 90% this, 10% of this or this or this or this if this happens.
During that whole diatribe, I only heard the words bonk and buff, and I am a fucking child.
I know you are. But yeah, do plan ahead, guys, please. Just makes everybody's life easier. And definitely don't be that person that sits on their phone and then when it gets to their turn goes, huh, what are we doing? Don't be that guy. Please.
No, you are right, though. Just have...
I hate that guy.
Have some it's having consideration for the rest of the table.
Yeah, because we're all there to have fun, right? And yeah, that's what I would say.
So that is my first question.
So my first question, I'm going to change one of the words because technically the word that they've used is not correct, but that's just me being me. So this question is from Sci-Fi. He's hit me up with several questions, all on Friday, which it was literally like middle of the morning. I just got a bunch of messages on Facebook. I was like, why is my phone going mental? And it was these questions. So I was pissed off for all of 5 seconds until I realized that it was questions for the show. And I was like, oh, cool, I got questions.
That's fair enough.
So this is from Sci-Fi, who is currently waking from a nightmare about maggot eyes. Now, that is relevant to the question. It's not just a random nightmare that he's had. Is it me, or do the Mind Flayer maggots look way too big to squeeze into the eye socket? I read it verbatim. I didn't change the word. The word I was going to change was maggot for larvae, because technically they're Mind Flayer larvae, but whatever. But yes, they are. They're massive. I don't know if you've seen the artwork for them.
I'm going to Google that now.
They are, I would say, easily about 4 inches long and about half an inch to an inch wide. And these things are meant to, as the law dictates, they enter the body of the host through any of the cranial orifices. So it's any hole in your head. So it could go through your ear, through your mouth, through your nose, or through your eye socket. And that would not be comfortable.
They do look big. They do look quite sizable.
Now, my argument for, yes, they do look too big to go into an eye socket comfortably, but I don't feel like comfortably is their goal here, right? Their goal isn't to make you comfortable. Their goal is to take over your entire fucking body.
Oh, shh, just relax, just lay back.
No.
Just, hey, dude, just come on. Listen, so, I'm going to put some Enya on. Okay. I'm going to light some candles.
I actually have got some candles.
And I've actually got some Enya on a playlist. So, I put some on some Vangelis. Then I put some candles, and there's just imagine the rolling of the waves on the beach.
But yes, no, they definitely do. They look too big to squeeze into the eye socket comfortably. But the average human eye socket it's actually quite large once you get past like the skin eye covering. The actual eye socket is actually quite large, so they could easily fit into the actual socket. It would just be they're getting into the eyelid and behind the eye that would suck. But I would argue the whole process would suck. If we're being honest, right?
Not if they put Enya on.
Well, there you go, mind flayers. Now you know what to do. Next time you want to, infect a bunch of hosts, just put some Enya on in the background.
Bit of Sail Away. A bit of Enya. Some incense burning. Can't not help.
Oh, some Enya and some lavender incense.
Lavender. You need to realign your chakras.
You realise now that anytime I walk into any place where there's Enya playing and incense, I'm going to be like, there's mind flayers, there's mind flayers, there's mind flayers! Run away!
I'm going to walk into the body shop and just start trashing the place. Fuck you! You're not taking my mind.
Lush is starting to make so much more sense.
To be honest, that is very cult-like.
Right?
They are very...
Yeah.
So...
They all follow the elder brain.
Beware of incense, folks. You've heard it here first.
Yep.
Mind flayers.
Mind flayers.
But they can't be called mind flayers, because if not, the Pinkertons will come to your house.
They're legally distinct from mind flayers.
They're legally distinct from mind flayers.
They're brain...
absorbers.
Yes. Brain absorbers.
Brain absorbers. With their tadpoles.
That's what we're called. No, because they're tadpoles in the law as well.
Fuck. With
we'll have to come up with a different name.
Caterpillars.
And they're going to turn you into a beautiful butterfly.
Listen to my Enya.
Oh, yeah, so that's my opinion on it. Having looked at the artwork, what do you think?
I completely agree with you. I'm having so much fun with this, I forgot the fucking question. But yes.
Do they look too big to squeeze into the eye socket? Was the question.
Not if they've got no regard for the eye.
Yeah, which they don't, because they don't care.
To be like, okay, oh, here's an eye. Oh, sail away.
Aye, sailor.
Oh, you look comfortable. I don't know why I'm giving him a Spanish accent, but guys, I can because I am Spanish.
Yeah, it's true. He's allowed to.
I'm allowed to.
It's okay. I kind of can because my daughter's half Spanish, so I'm half allowed.
So you can say half a joke.
Yeah, I'm allowed to do half a joke. So you can get the setup and no punchline, or punchline and no setup. That's it.
I'll do the punch. I'll do the punchline.
Yeah, you have to do the punchline. Right. What's your next question?
I want to talk about this for a while longer. Let me have a look. Let me just whip back to the jump.
I mean, we can, because like we can put what did we said they were going to be called, brain absorbers. We can put brain absorbers into our system if you want.
Yeah. So brain absorber caterpillars.
Yeah, brain absorber caterpillars.
Yeah, that's happening.
Yep.
All right.
Be a thing.
So I've got Corvus again.
Oh, lovely.
Who is still in the queue behind Edgar.
Yep.
He's asking about risk assessments.
Yeah, that tracks.
So what are your thoughts and opinions on potentially converting pre-made adventures campaigns for a different system, i.e. D&D to Pathfinder and vice versa?
I do it all the time.
Do you think it's something that either of you would do if the adventure campaign had a good enough premise to warrant thinking about?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think we've both done it.
I haven't done it from 5e because none of their adventures appeal to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've done it from.
You've done it from.
I've done it from 5e based things like external supplements, but nothing from Wizards of the Coast.
Yes, yeah.
Like I'm part of a mailing list. I think it's DM Dave, and they send out like these free 5e adventures once a month. And a couple of them I've looked at and just kind of gone, oh, nice one, Dave.
Yoink.
And I haven't quote unquote converted them, but I've taken the premise.
I've actually to take that one step further, even I've converted one of the raids in a video game I play into a 5e module.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet. I've play tested it all, and I know it all works. I just haven't played it with the group yet. But it was a lot of fun, and kind of coming up with stat blocks for the raid bosses was very interesting. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I've done it even from a video game into a module, and I think that's also something that people should maybe look to do more of, because it broadens your mind a bit more as well, because you're not converting like for like, right? Because taking something like 5e and converting it to Pathfinder or vice versa, or even from 5e to, I don't know, pick a system, there's always going to be similarities and like direct correlation between like this stat and this stat, or that stat, and there's always going to be a way to directly correlate stuff. But going from video game to tabletop role-playing game, you've got to think outside the box a little bit for how some of the video game mechanics are going to work mechanically in the game system that you're running, and that's quite a cool challenge.
I mean, it's a very simple process. It becomes hard when you try and do it like for like.
Yeah.
When you try go, let's say, take a 5e supplement and go, okay, well, here they need, here the text says it should be an insight check. Well, I'm going to use sense mode. Then it becomes hard because you're giving yourself extra work.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a creature. There's this creature. Okay, so I need to recreate this creature. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you just find something similar.
Get something similar. Get something that fits the bill. Just get the story elements, the narrative. That's what you move over. You do not have to convert any of that.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just essentially applying your own DCs.
Yes.
And that's it. And when it's a creature, don't try and find a like for like. Just try find something. Okay, so there's an ethereal undead. Okay, I'm going to get another ethereal undead.
Yeah,
it's a really simple thing to do. I mean,
that is essentially what I did as well. Converting from the video game is I looked at what the boss was like in the game, and then I found an equivalent monster that already existed in the system, and then just tweaked it slightly.
I mean, you say that people should look to do it more often. I've actually seen it crop up quite a bit. This same question in like the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, where people have kind of gone, okay, I'm wanting to run, Descent into Avernus in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. How would you do that? Yeah. And my advice to them is exactly the same as what I've just said now. Get the narrative, get the story beats, and then add in the challenges as per the system that you're playing.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a really straightforward thing to do.
It's a lot of fun.
All right. Okay. You've got another one?
I do. So technically this was sent through as two questions, but the one is kind of just the opposite question to the other. So I'm just going to combine them. So these are both from Sci-Fi as well. So The first one, he said, having a should have gone to Specsavers moment. Do they do maggot extraction?
Fair.
And the second one was fishing with a fresh maggot at the end of the pier. So I'm guessing he got it out by the sounds of it, which is good. But the questions that he put forward there are: what 3 things are required to make a good NPC, and what 3 things make a bad NPC?
I'm assuming that when he says good and bad, he's talking about the quality of, not necessarily the
alignment. Yeah.
Is it? That's it. Is he referring to the alignment? Or
No. I think he's referring to the quality. Yeah.
Okay, so good NPC. I mean, your basics are personality, description,
yeah,
and attitude towards the party.
Yeah.
If you get those 3 things right, then that is a good NPC. Then anything that you add on to that, whether that's quirks or little sort of idiosyncrasies, then that's just flavor.
Yes.
So you need a physical description, you need a personality, and you need an attitude towards the party.
And all 3 of those need to correlate as well.
Yeah.
They need to make sense.
To a certain degree, but it is often good to have sort of contradicting aspects. You know, you've got this big, gruff-looking person with a horrible temperament, but he loves the party.
Yeah.
So, you know, he hates everybody else, but the party come in and it's like, hey, guys, that sort of thing. I think those sort of contrasts really do work as well. Or you've got the meek, slender looking nobody with the awful sort of temperament who just gives the party an unbelievable amount of shit. Essentially me as an NPC.
Yeah, I was about to say, that sounds like you.
It is me.
But that's the thing, right? Those things they still make sense because, like, if, for example, right, with that first example, the first example you gave, the guy that was like, he hates everyone else, but he loves the party. It could be because he gets the vibe from the party that they also hate everybody in town. And he's like, these are my people. I like these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
So it still makes sense and it correlates because if the party have come in and they've basically gone, everyone in this town is a fucking moron. And he's like, right, now you know what I've been dealing with for the last 20-something years. And then they kind of bond over that, then it makes sense that he gets on really well with the party, but he hates everyone in town because everyone in town's a fucking moron. And I think those are the things that, like when I say they need to correlate and make sense, that's kind of what I meant, is like, don't have him just love the party for no reason. If he hates the whole town because they're all really upbeat people and the party come in being really upbeat, then it would make sense that he fucking hates them too.
I mean, there's also I forgot what I was going to fucking say now.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not editing that out.
The Mind Flayer maggot is taking effect.
I thought I heard some fucking Enya. No, I genuinely had an addition to it and to kind of go, oh, you also need to remember this. And then I just kind of fucking went out the window.
That I think is what makes a bad NPC, is giving them something that you then forget.
Yeah, forgetting your NPCs. Horrible NPCs.
It is.
No, but logic is also a hugely important one. You've got to make their decisions and their actions logical. So, like, for example, you get an NPC, and a lot of adventure paths do it, where it's like, oh, this NPC is not inclined to help the party in any way.
Yeah.
All right. And let's face it, some players can fucking argue.
Oh, yes.
Some players can kind of bring up logical arguments which are hard to refute.
Yep.
Not so much for me, because I can also argue pretty fucking well.
Yep.
But I have seen it where the GM ends up just going, oh, because they're not, sort of thing. And it becomes a very cold sort of, this is as far as you're getting.
Yeah.
Whereas you need to be able to somehow make their positions logical, even if it is to them.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to argue that point.
It's that age-old thing of point of view, isn't it? Because from that NPC's point of view, what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to, right? You can make the most, and like there's something that, I mean, we've got kids, so we've experienced this on the daily basis, where a kid will lay out a fucking flawless logical argument, but they're wrong. And you kind of sit there and you're like, fuck, that makes sense, but it's wrong.
Yeah, so I think the lack in logic does kind of betray the quality of the NPCs.
I would also say trying to make the NPC like the party favorite NPC. If you try and make it the favorite NPC, you're going to make a bad NPC.
You're going to fail.
Yeah. The favorite NPC is always the one that you put the least fucking effort into, because that's the one the party's going to bond with, because they're going to be very reactive to the party, I find.
Yeah, because you're not kind of backing yourself into a corner.
Yeah. You're not sticking to a script.
I created an NPC in my homebrew campaign, and he was like a guard captain, and I wanted him to be intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Did not fucking land.
Nope.
Did not fucking land, so I had him killed off. And then I brought in his boss.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he fucking landed. He fucking landed pretty fucking well. But yeah, that first NPC, it was like, okay, so you're all under arrest, remove. And they were taking the piss out of him like something fucking fierce. And it was like, okay, so this went tits up. Mm. So yeah, I mean, you don't have an expectation of your NPC.
Yeah.
Some NPCs are going to be off the cuff, and this happened in my Abomination Vaults game last week, where they met a group of, currently drow, but canon-wise, that's not going to be like that for much longer, but they're a group of drow who were able to be swayed and become sympathetic. And initially, the 4 that are encountered are just mooks, are just like, they're the hunting party.
Yeah.
They do have a boss in the area, and the boss has a name and he's got a history, etc., etc. So when they met these 4, one of the players went, I'm so-and-so, this is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. What are your names? Mm. So I could have gone, they give you their names, but it's not really relevant. But I was in a funny mood, so I started looking around my room and went, this one is Lamp Avocado. This one, and I gave them all stupid fucking names like that.
Yeah.
It was Lamp Avocado, Lamp Vape Juice, Avocado Headphones, and Russell Brand.
Love it.
But no one's allowed to be in a room on their own with Russell Brand for some reason.
Of course not.
But anyway. And then they went to meet the boss of them, who, again, has got a name, he's got a backstory, etc., etc. Guaranteed, they are not going to fucking remember the boss.
No, they'll remember the little ones.
They will remember Lamp Vap Juice.
Yep.
So...
Or Lamp Avocado.
No, yeah, Lamp Avocado,
mm-hmm.
Vap Juice. It was something along those lines. I've got it written down somewhere because I knew this would happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Okay, that is the key to good NPCs. Every NPC you create, write down.
Oh, 100%.
Because whichever one you don't write down, that's the one the players are going to want to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just bringing up my notes from the other day. Where the fucking was it? So, yeah, it was Lamp Vap Juice, Avocado Banana Pack, Flask Headphones, and Russell Brand.
Oh, love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that sums up good and bad NPCs.
Oh, I'm still laughing at that. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for that question, Sci-Fi.
Yes, thanks for all those questions.
Yeah,
amazing.
They were fantastic. And we've got one last question this evening from the man, the myth, the legend, Couch, who is lost inside an IKEA's kitchen department.
Sounds about right.
Easily fucking done.
Yep. We've all been there. We've all done it.
The only place that's worse than IKEA is where I work.
Yep.
That's another fucking story.
Yep.
But Couch's question is there a place in tabletop role-playing games for romance? Much like most RPGs now, there seems to be romance mechanics in a lot of games. Do you think this detracts from a campaign's story or add to it? Your thoughts, Justin?
I think it does have a place. I think it has to be. It has to be what something that everybody is like into for the setting and whatnot. I think it's, as long as you don't do what Hollywood seems to do of just shoehorning in some romance because romance, then I think it can work quite well if it's done properly and if it's handled properly. But it is something that you do need to be careful of because it can lead to just people being uncomfortable or whatever. So it's something you need to make sure everybody's cool with.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of starting out on the principle that everybody is comfortable. Let's kind of start out there because obviously there are a lot of red flags that we don't really need to get into because that is just common fucking courtesy.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in terms of, let's suppose that everybody at the table, all willing, would you kind of allow for it? Would you? Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. If everybody's on board, absolutely, because it's one of those things where it can lead to really cool moments, right? Because if there's been like a romance story brewing between, maybe two of the PCs or one of the PCs and somebody from the town or something like that, that could lead to a really cool scene later where, you get that classical hero thing of you can save your loved one or save like the party or whatever, right? You can kind of lead to those moments, and those are always really cool to lean into the hero film trope, obviously. But yeah, it can, because it can absolutely lead to some really cool moments. So if everybody's on board, then absolutely I would.
I mean, I allow for it. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. However, a lot of the times when this happens, it does kind of start to take center stage.
Yeah.
And that is something I actively work against.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if there is a couple and I'm talking character-wise, obviously, if there is a couple of characters who have engaged in a romantic dalliance, I'm not going to dwell too much on it.
No.
I'm not going to, because I do think to a certain degree it can detract from everybody else's experience at the table, because they're going to end up going, for fuck's sake, here we go again. They're having their nice romantic date. Fucking great. Yeah,
I think like in those sort of situations, that's where you would benefit from maybe having like a like one-on-one session with those people, so they can still have like their romance RP like date night or whatever, but it's not going to impact on everyone else's time at the table.
No, I manage the table accurately. I do set aside time. I set aside time for roleplay. And I will, sometimes you go out on your date, what happens, what's the conversation about? They get to have their conversation, and then we're fading to black.
Yeah.
And then, right, what are you guys doing in the meantime? And they'll focus on the other players.
Yeah, I'll give everyone their spotlight.
I'll give them their moment, but I will shift the spotlight. I will not let them take it. And if they kind of try take it, again, it'll be a case of, we're not going to investigate. We're not going to look into this. This is something, you say this happens, then that happens. Not a problem. We don't need to be witness to it. And the other thing I'll say, and I suppose this works with romance, and it will also work with the Bastion system.
Mm-hmm.
The more the player has, the more I can take away.
Exactly.
And I am not shy of a bad guy finding out these two are an item. I'm going to kill that one.
Yeah.
And I will go for it. I will try it. If they succeed and they survive, good for them. But if I take that away, then you set yourself up for that. You establish the parameters. So the same with the Bastion. You've got a stronghold. If anybody finds out or interested parties find out, then that place is at risk.
Yeah.
I did it in Abomination Vaults, where there is an entity who's kind of been observing what's been going on. So when that entity appeared, it was like, I'm going to now take something from you. And it went straight for the romantic partner who was asleep at the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's the more you give me to work with, the more I have to potentially take away. So that is something that you need to kind of beware of.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But other than that, yeah, if you want to go into a private chat and fuck yourself silly, by all means. As long as it doesn't disrupt the table. But yeah, that is about time.
I believe so.
Yeah, we're hitting an hour and a half. I think that's a good session.
Yeah.
So thank you to Couch, Corvus, and Sci-Fi for some fantastic questions.
Yep. So, some brilliant questions as always, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you for taking your time thanks to you for spending some time with me. See,
okay.
That words thing is contagious.
It's hard today, isn't it?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for spending some time with me. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on the interwebs?
Yes. So you lovely folk can find me on our Facebook group page. I'm on there a lot, and because I always have my phone in my hand because I'm a dirty degenerate. And in multiple places online as Just an Accurate TV, mostly over on my Twitch, where I tend to go live playing all sorts of video games.
As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan on dice.camp on Mastodon. And also these past couple of days, I've set up a link tree. It is linktree / 2 legit to crit, where we have all our social media. We've got every link imaginable connecting you to us, including the Facebook group that Justin mentioned. So please find us on all these different platforms. Get in touch with us. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. Also, you know, talk to your friends about us. Give us ratings. Anything like that will help these algorithms grow the podcast. And most importantly, thanks to everyone who has spent some of their valuable time listening to two idiots talk about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.